not coming back to the department at one point, and someone called me and said, don't tell me no. Didn't get the job, but it was like, I want to talk to you. But it was then where the mayor would present her plan. A 15, I believe, 20-page document that laid out her vision for safety in the city of Philadelphia. Then that would be, I get the chaser with Councilman Jones, who had his plan, his blueprint. And then the mayor would, before he walked in the door, said, here's your executive orders, and gave us our charge. And so I just want to be very clear that what we're about to embark on in our 5-year strategic plan is really, really rooted in the mayor's vision then, before she came into office, and even prior to that. And so my role taking that charge now is to move back forward. So I just want to say, Mayor, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for understanding the importance of safety in this city and what is necessary to move that forward. One of the things I learned from the mayor in that moment was that, Kev, you can't do it by yourself. The intergovernmental big tent model is how you get it done. And so when I see colleagues here today, Maureen Rush, who's from the foundation, Adam Gear, who's the public safety director and runs that space, Sean, who is here from the coalition, and others, and from the William Penn Foundation, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to the team. I saw David from the coalition and Sean from the, I just want to say thank you. I mean, Pedro's been with me since I arrived, and even before that, and the team together, all of them together, saw it was worthy to invest in us. And I just want to say, this is part of the work, and how you really get things done, understanding that space. I have members of my team here, and as the mayor say, you may say Kevin Bethel, but she knows, and I recognize that as she does, that this is a team effort. And so I have members of my team here. Commissioner Stanford, Commissioner Massey, Commissioner Healy, he's my attorney as well, so he keeps me in line. But I just want to thank you. And most importantly, Roosevelt Poplar, the president of the FOP. You don't start down this path without partnerships and somebody who's willing to sit in the room. And yes, it's not perfect. But the men and women who move in this strategic plan are his men and women that he represents. And so I just want to say how I appreciate his support. And then David Zaga, I asked David Zaga, I stole him from the school district. David, for those who don't know, helped to create the strategic plan for the school district. I was involved in that process, became fully amazed in how we would be able to bring that together. And after a year of working, I was able to get him from the school district and come on our team as our executive director of strategic planning, and he is leading that space, and he'll be able to answer more of the granular questions. But as indicated, and this is the voice of the community is central to this plan. This is a plan that's being developed inclusive, and it's collaboration, involving residents, neighbors, business leaders. And I often would tell people, is it policing the community or community policing? Those are sometimes, gets lost in the conversation of how we need to operate. And no, we haven't really taken time to really stop and say, what does it look like? And to get that done, we have to do that together. We have to listen to the men and women in the department. And so we're doing a dual process. We're working with our business leaders and others, but we have to do that on both sides. And so David Zaga could come up and talk about how he's built so many, 200 men and women, both inside and outside the department, are in building this process. And so it's absolutely exciting if I walk into a room, and I've been happening on my 5th floor, to walk up and see community members in our building telling us how we want you to operate. At the same time, I got police officers and sergeants and lieutenants and captains and inspectors and chiefs in a room saying, this is what we want. That collective energy and that collective bond is what's going to drive us forward as an organization, not just today. A 5-year strategic plan that hopefully turns into a 10-year strategic plan and also sets us up. So those partnerships are important. For this plan to succeed, it must be built with trust. We talk about trust, but what does that actually mean? How can you not, the mayor always said you can't be what you can't see. Right? So how can you invest in a plan if you can't see yourself in that plan? Right? How can you invest in this work if you don't see yourself a part of that work? And so part of that is taking the mayor's vision for us and really, really bring it to life. You know, because I know how important community policing is to this mayor and to this city. And the mayor says, it's not what you say, it's what you do, right? And that's what we're embarking on today. You know, understanding that policing alone cannot solve every issue. And so that's why we will continue to have this holistic approach. I have a friend behind me, Adam Gear, from the Office of Public Safety. You know, there was sometimes people question, what is this? Like, what? I was like, he don't tell me what to do, and I don't tell him what to do. But in all seriousness, I mean, we have built an incredible relationship. When the mayor talks about our PI, you know, prevention, intervention, and enforcement, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, this is my rider guy over here on my left. He has embedded himself in our department. He's one of the most quality human beings I've ever met. His parents raised this man well. But we are working together. And so that's why he plays a central role in building our strategic plan. So we're not on an island by ourselves, but that we link all of the things that his team is doing and what the mayor is doing across the city to make sure this is an effective plan. As indicated and shared, there's 200 participants in this program, in this process. They will be helping us in the execution and creation of this plan. And as I indicated, including this panel, is community members, advocates, business leaders, and ladies and gentlemen, everybody knows my youth work. I don't do nothing without getting my young people's voice. And if you don't think they've given us a lot to talk about, Dave, they give us a lot to talk about this work. But, you know, my work around youth engagement and juvenile justice remains a focal point of that work. And so sitting in those rooms, listening to those young men and women talk about how they see policing and where do they want to see policing 5 years from now and how they want to be treated in this space, that sets us up for the future, because if we can meet them where they are, we can be highly effective. So throughout this planning process, staff and community members have highlighted the importance of investing in our force, which I appreciate. We're making critical adjustments in our hiring, focus on our targeted recruitment for diverse force that reflects the city we serve. And we're committing significant resources to our officer wellness and professional development. If you hear the folks in the room, it's one of the most amazing things when you listen to the community. They're saying the things that my cops want: training. They know that our officers need to be trained. But guess what? For the first time, we also hear the community say they need to have wellness. And you need to make sure that you're taking care of those men and women, because if they're cared for, they'll care for us. Listening to those things align are so important. So I just want to, before I end, just say that how much I appreciate everyone here. Where's Jasmine at? Jasmine Riley, where Dr. Riley at? She's hiding back here. Where's she? Oh, she's over here. Well, I have a corporal, but Dr. Riley, I call her because she's a doctor. She got her PhD. I didn't acknowledge her, and Commissioner Slauson, I apologize. Commissioner Slauson, I see you over there, but you know how I feel about you, and she's been always supportive. But I see, Corporal Riley has been, Dr. Riley, she's been supporting Dave on this work, so I didn't want to be remiss if I didn't see you over there and acknowledge you in that work. So I'll end finally. I want to end with a direct call for action for every resident. Your input is vital. So this is a transparent process. We're going to have a website up. We have things are going up to let you know what we're doing. Because at the end of the day, my goal is this. I have taken the charge of this amazing leader to my left and now moved it into action. And we want that to be something that we all agree on. Because our vision, my collective team, is we all agree on this. That this is the strategy moving forward for us as a city and moving my agency forward. That you all buy in to be able to do that. And I'll be reaching out to my council member to support that with the funds as well. So we'll talk about that for another day. And so it's vital for you, the community, to be engaged in this process. We want you to personally encourage all of our community members to take the public survey by visiting phillypolice.com and clicking Learn More and take the survey. I also encourage you to visit phillypolice.com/strategic planning. That's phillypolice.com/strategic planning to learn more about the strategic planning process and get updates on our upcoming public forums and town halls. This is our city. This is a great leader to my left. This is our plan. And together, if we build a safer and stronger, more prosperous future, that we do this right. So I just want to thank you, Madam Mayor, for the opportunity to be in this position, to lead this organization under you. It is one of the greatest decisions I've ever made in my life, and it's an honor to serve you and serve the city of Philadelphia. Thank you.
So a plan starts here, but it trickles down to the ground, Madam Mayor. And Monday, I saw the evidence of that plan in my district at 54th and Arlington Street. There had been a confrontation with young people loitering on the corner. The merchants were complaining. Some of the seniors were afraid to walk by them. And we complained and convened with the 19th Police District. Something magical happened. I'm riding down the street on my way to work. I see about 4 officers standing on a corner, 6 or so young people faced off, and I'm thinking that something bad's about to happen. So I pulled over like Batman. I pulled up and I said, what's going on? We're just talking. They're telling us what they want. We're saying what we expect. We are trying to balance those concerns because the seniors, where we built affordable luxury housing, want to feel comfortable coming out their house. I stepped back and I said, well, y'all carry on. And so when you write these plans and they manifest at the local level, I see it. It's sometimes a delayed reaction, but it gets down there, and there is a correlation between trust with the community and the policing and reduction of crime. Because we all too often, you all too often in uniform, see our young people on their worst day, but not at their best potential. And we're beginning to bridge that through community policing. And I'm excited about the next chapter of this plan and seeing how it impacts my district and my community. Thank you so very much for doing it.
Dave, Sean, Maureen, just stay next to. Can you all come down here, please?
Good morning, everyone. Pedro Ramos, President and CEO of the Philadelphia Foundation, joined by Sean McHaney, Executive Director of the William Penn Foundation, David Brown, who's the Executive Director of the Civic Coalition to Save Lives, friend and partner Maureen Rush from the Philadelphia Police Foundation. The colleagues to my right and your left are involved with the Civic Coalition to Save Lives. Sean McHaney, William Penn Foundation, and I co-chair the steering committee of the Civic Coalition to Save Lives, and David is our leader. The Civic Coalition to Save Lives came together at a time of crisis, where we, like a lot of others, including Councilwoman Parker, were not just responding to what was going on in 2022, but trying to understand what could be done about it. And it's fascinating, when the mayor launched her agenda, her public safety agenda, and put pie front purpose, because I'm sure the press said, oh, that's cute. It's a...
Nous avons venir avec plus de déclarations concernant la conférence ça qui peut dérouler du côté de Philadelphie, côté que magistrat ensemble avec responsable sécurité a présenté un plan pour une durée de 5 années qui vient à voir avec question de sécurité pour Villa.